most QA engineers are still relying on ChatGPT for test scenarios. And it's good. It covers the basics like file size and formats, but in a complex sprint, good isn't enough. So look at the depth Claude reaches. It's analyzing race conditions and atomic right failures. So which is the invisible bugs that ChatGPT actually missed. So if you want to level up your QA game in 2026, you need to see this final comparison. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Abdurrahman. So over the past few weeks, I've been sharing ChatGPT prompts and Claude AI prompts for QA engineers. If you missed those videos, links are in the description. Go watch them first because they will make this comparison make a lot more sense. Today is the one you have been waiting for. I'm going to test both tools on 5 real QA tasks, the same ones I showed you in the previous videos. Same prompts, same examples, and I'm going to score them honestly on each one. No bias, no sponsorship, just what happened when I tested both and which AI actually deserves a spot in your workflow. Let's get into it. Okay, round 1, which is the test case generation. I used the identical prompt from my previous videos, the senior QA persona, the password reset user story, and a request for a detailed table. On the left side, ChatGPT lived up to its reputation as a productivity powerhouse. It gave me 25 test cases in seconds. It covers all these standard bases, happy paths, invalid formats, and expired links. So if you need to populate a test management tool like TestTrail quickly, this is actually a solid 7 out of 10 because it's clean, reliable, and also it's fast. But now look at Claude on the right side. Claude didn't just give me a list, it built me an interactive QA dashboard, which I can filter by positive, negative, or edge cases easily, so I'm going to be able to focus on my testing session. But the real difference is the senior path in the content. While ChatGPT covers the what question, Claude focuses on the how and the why questions. So for example, look at the test case number 006. Claude specifically flags user enumeration, which reminds us that the customer's response for unregistered emails must be identical to the registered ones to prevent data leaks. And it also caught an email change race condition, as you can see in the test case number 022, which is incredibly easy to miss but vital for preventing the account takeovers. So ChatGPT gives you a great checklist, but Claude gives you a security-first test strategy. So for the scoring, ChatGPT in the first round is going to get 7 out of 10. Claude is going to get 9.5 out of 10. So Claude takes the first round because it didn't just act like a tester, it acts like a security lead too. Okay, round 2, the bug report. I gave both tools a vague and messy observation. The login button doesn't work on mobile Safari if the caps lock is on. On the left side, ChatGPT was efficient. It took my notes and organized them into a clean and professional report. Also, it correctly identified that this is a high severity issue because it blocks the core user path, which is the logging in. So we can say if you need a quick template to copy and paste into Jira, this is perfect. So for scoring, I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. On the right side, Claude didn't just write a report. It generated a dedicated bug report UI. Also, it assigned a specific ID and listed which environments were not affected, like Chrome on iOS or Safari on macOS, which is actually crucial for developers to be able to narrow down the scope. So, the real winner here is the root cause hypothesis. ChatGPT gave a generic guess about case-sensitive validation. However, Claude provided three distinct technical theories. It pointed to WebKit-specific focus conflicts and potential side effects of using the getModifierState API. So this isn't just a report. It's a roadmap to fix the bug in half the time. So for scoring, Claude's going to get 9.8. Alright, round 3. This is where things get serious, because I call this the silent killer round. Because we are looking for the edge cases that actually take down production systems. So I pushed both tools to be exhaustive. So now I'm talking about race conditions, session handling, and third-party API failures for simple profile photo upload. ChatGPT on the left side actually did a good job. So it gave me the standard checklist every QA should have, the file size limits, wrong formats, network timeouts. So if you are just starting your test plan, it's a great head start, because let's be honest, those aren't the bugs that keep you up at night. But Claude on the right side, as usual, it gave me a very good interactive dashboard. And it didn't just give me a list, it gave me the entire library categorized by risk. While ChatGPT was looking at the user UI, Claude actually focused on the infrastructure. So as you can see, it flagged things I didn't even prompt for, like the polyglot files. That's actually where the hackers hide the script inside a photo header to be able to bypass your security. So it reminded me about the XF data leaks, which is actually a huge privacy risk. And it even caught a race condition between a finished upload and a deleted account. So that's the difference. ChatGPT thinks like a tester checking boxes, but Claude thinks like a senior architect who's already lived through a production disaster and knows exactly where the holes are. So for scoring, ChatGPT is going to get 8 out of 10, and Claude honestly is going to get 10 out of 10. Alright, round 4 is what I call the detective round. So as a QA, you spend half your life staring at logs and stack traces just like this one. So I fed both tools a standard Selenium no such element exception and asked them to figure out what actually happened and, the more importantly, what I should check first. So ChatGPT on the left side was like a helpful senior mentor. So it broke down the failure clearly and gave me a solid list of the usual suspects. So you know, the missing weights, changed IDs, or iframe issues we see every day. And actually it gave me a great tip. So you can log the first 1000 characters of the page source so you can see exactly what the driver is saying without opening a massive file, which is practical. But Claude on the right side, it just has a better way of organizing its brain for a high pressure environment. So as you can see, this error chain, it maps the failure from the test file all the way down to the specific line in the page object. So it makes the logic so easy to follow visually. But the real winner for me was the priority table. Instead of just giving me a giant list of everything that could be wrong, it told me what to check first. So before wasting time on things like feature flags or shadow DOMs. And that's the difference. So ChatGPT gives you all the answers, but Claude gives you the fastest path to the fix. So for the scoring, ChatGPT is going to get 8.5 and 9.5 out of 10 for Claude. And now for the final round. So let's talk about the raw power. Every QA knows that feeling when you need a massive set of test data right now to meet a deadline. So I put both tools on the ultimate speed test. So I asked both to generate a JSON array of 50 unique user profiles that includes names, emails, hashed passwords, and international phone number. And actually, this is where ChatGPT finally woke up. While Claude is a genius at deep thinking, it tends to get a bit polite or cautious when the output gets too long. It actually stalled out completely at profile number 32 or 33, but ChatGPT just opened the floodgates and it printed all the 50 profiles in a few seconds. So if you are a double threat who needs to seed a database or generate massive datasets for load testing on the fly, so ChatGPT is still the undisputed king of high volume output data. And now for the scoring. So honestly, for this round, 10 out of 10 for ChatGPT and 7 out of 10 for Claude. So that was the honest comparison. Claude wins overall, but here is the thing. This doesn't mean you should delete ChatGPT. Both tools actually have a place in your workflow. The best QA engineers, they don't just pick one tool because they use both, but they know when to use which one. Subscribe for more videos so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching. See you next Tuesday.